the substance. 4, we're going to consider these banks in order. From the bank that was first closed. And from my record, from the Auditor General's report, Tefe Bank was closed in 1993, and we'll start with Tefe. We'll go to the International Credit Bank Limited, closed on the 18th of September 1998. We will go to the Greenland Bank, closed on the 1st April 1999. We'll go to the Cooperative Bank, National Bank of Commerce, Global Trust Bank, and Crane Bank. So we are going to take them in that order. Because I see a lot of misconception that this process is about a particular bank. And I want to make this categorically clear. We're going in that order. From the first bank we dispose of, second bank, and the bank which other people are talking about is actually the last. So I hope your people are noting how we like to proceed. Yeah. So we need preparation, all documents related to Tefe Bank, International Credit Bank, Greenland Bank, Cooperative Bank, National Bank of Commerce, Global Trust, and then the last. Lastly, the objective of this process eventually is to see if there is any bank, God forbid, that may go under, could it be handled better? And I'm sure the operating banks now would be interested in this process, that in case things go wrong, will our institutions be handled better and in accordance with the law? The reason why we read history is because we pick lessons out of it. That's the reason why we read history. The reason why we do postmortem is because we pick lessons out of it. And in the future, we make sure that we improve. Or if there were challenges, they don't reoccur. That is the only reason why we read history. That's the only reason why we do postmortem. So this process is as good as even for the future. It's as good of yesterday, but also for the future. Lastly, as you realize, many of these people who own this bank would like accountability. And this process is also to account, because these institutions were actually owned by Ugandans. I guess they're all Ugandans. Okay, human beings, in case there are no Ugandans. So we need accountability. Lastly, Governor, we are conscious of the constitutional mandate, powers, duties, and functions of the bank. We're also conscious of your constitutional independence. Our own interpretation, if I may speak on behalf of my colleague, is in regard to monetary policy. Your fiscal policies and price stability, professional decisions, which you must be protected from undue influence if you are to run our economy correctly. And then independence does not mean non-accountability. You can be independent and yet what? Accountable. So we need to have that straight. We know where the Bank of Uganda is independent, but we also know that accountability is a constitutional requirement. There is no institution in this country that does not account, including the first office in this country. I'm sure you've seen the papers when members of parliament actually go and interview the president to account for his actions, yet is the first office. So what we are looking generally is accountability of this institution. It's not criminal prosecution, actually. If it's criminal prosecution, then it wouldn't be here. Our mandate is limited to accountability of the actions of the Bank of Uganda. So we are not a court of law, neither are we a police station, nor are we an inspectorate of government, because they have different mandates. Ours is for you to account. In case there is anything we think falls within the mandate of the other institution, then we will fight there. But that's not our mandate now to go into that. So there is no criminality which is going to be discussed here. What we like is accountability of Bank of Uganda for its actions. Then the rest can only be consequential. So you're most welcome. Let's have introductions now so that we know who is here. I'll start with our visitors. You are most welcome. I know it is cold, but there should have been even a cup of tea or coffee. They have such a and they cleared the table. I hope the committee will account for that. So let's have the introductions first. Bank of Uganda, please. After introduction, colleagues, then you can raise any issue arising out of communication from the chair. Then we can see how we proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to thank you for your communication from the chair and promise that we shall do everything possible to stand by it, at least, and observe the important points that you have raised and answer those points that require answering. My name is Emmanuel Tumusime Mutebile, Governor, Central Bank of Uganda.
Thank you, Chair. Louis Kasekende, Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda.
What happened to the other one called the doctor? You've since abandoned it? Okay, next. And what happened to the other one called professor? Okay. This microphone doesn't seem to be chemical engineering, so... No, this is not for loudspeaking, it's actually for recording. And I need also to put this clear, that whatever we say here is recorded verbatim. And the reason is, to warn you, is bad manners to record somebody without telling him so. So you know that whatever you're going to say here will be recorded. Where are our people? Technical people?
Thank you. Chairman, I'm Dr. William Kalema, Board Member, Bank of Uganda.
Yeah. Chairman and Honorable Members, I'm Judy Obichegama, Board Member, Bank of Uganda. Good morning, everyone. I'm Josephine Osia, Board Member, Bank of Uganda.
Good morning. I'm called Susan Kanyemebwa, Bank Secretary.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Benedict Sekavira, the staff of the Bank of Uganda.
No, that doesn't exist. Are you a SWIFT and Bank of Uganda?
I'm a director in charge of FMDC at the Bank of Uganda.
That's fair enough.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kenneth Egesa. I'm the Acting Executive Director, Supervision.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Margaret Kasule. I'm the Legal Counsel, Bank of Uganda.
Good morning, everyone. Titus Mlindo on my name. I'm the Deputy Legal Counsel, Bank of Uganda.
Deputy?
Legal Counsel.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Stephen Lukwago is my name, Senior Principal Banking Officer, Bank of Uganda.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Florence Njunoha. I'm a senior officer in Bank of Uganda.
Senior officer?
Yes, please.
What does senior officer mean?
Senior principal banking officer in Bank of Uganda.
Oh, okay.
Good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hannington Waswa, Director Commercial Banking, Bank of Uganda. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Charles Mugisa. I'm representing the Executive Director, Finance, Bank of Uganda.
Good morning. My name is Edward Tenyo. I'm a Deputy Director in the Governor's Office, Bank of Uganda.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Christina Lupo, Director, Board Affairs, Bank of Uganda.
Good morning, everyone. I am Joyce Okello. I am Executive Director and Personal Assistant to the Governor.
Good morning to you all. I'm Charity Mugumya, Director, Communications.
Good morning. My name is Akura Mujenyi. I'm an officer in the Communications Department at the Bank of Uganda.
Good morning. My name is Jonah Waiswa from the Communications Department, Bank of Uganda.
Can I have colleagues introducing themselves from... Yeah, we need actually that protection between Bank of Uganda and the committee. So we had to put a general there too, so that you don't jump the borders.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Brigadier Francis Kachirwa, representing the UPDF and a member of this committee.
Good morning, members. I'm Konera Agnes, Member of Parliament representing workers and a member of this committee.
Francis Mgeshe, Member of Parliament of West County.
Good morning, everyone. Bamkwasa Betty Mzanla is my name, representing the people of Rukunjili, a member of this committee.
Baba Ali Muyanja, Member of Parliament, Bukoto South, member of this committee.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Peter Gwang, Member of Parliament for Usu County, Katakwi District.
What happened to the other one? Commissioner of Parliament.
Thank you, Chair. Nakamunde Sala, Umane MP Mpigi District, a member on this committee.
Good morning, honorable members and the staff from Bank of Uganda. I'm Babadiri Margaret, woman member of Parliament, Koboko District, and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members. My name is Kaswand Moses, representing the Waga North constituency and a member on this committee. Thank you.
Morning, members. I'm Mogema Panadai, representing Ganga Municipality, a member of this committee.
Good morning, members. My name is Wajayanga Andrew Aja, Member of Parliament, Kabale Municipality, and a member of this committee.
Good morning, members. My name is Kawa Tofas Viagira, woman MP Hoima District, member of this committee.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Sheila Mwine, woman MP Chilhura, member of this committee.
Good morning, everyone. Alapen Magotachela, woman MP Kotela District, and member of this committee.
Abraham James Vianda katika North constituency, Luero District.
Babas Jane Fachomhendo is my name, Man MP Kaka District, and a member of this committee.
Good morning, Chair and members. Itungo Nathan is my name, representing the people of Kashar South, Mbara District, and a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Beatrice Atimanywa. Many know me as Mama Mabira. I represent the people of Kitgum Municipality and a member of this committee.
Okupa Elijah, Member of Parliament for Kaselo County.
I'm Martin Bamlumbie, Assistant Director, Office of the Auditor General.
I'm Innocent Mbaguta, Principal Auditor, Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hussein Chigundo, auditor from the Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Anet Najumba Kayondo, Parliamentary Liaison, Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Budia Samson. I'm from the Office of the Accountant General.
Good morning, Chair. Detective IP Chamnavi Janat, CID attached to this committee.
Good morning. My name is Solomon Chirunda, Principal Legal Counsel to Parliament and Legal Counsel to this committee.
Good morning, members. I'm Flavia Babilia, an economist from the Parliamentary Budget Office attached to this committee.
Good morning, members. Bainomcha Kukunda Joffrey, Principal Police Analyst from the Office of the Lead of Government Business attached to this committee.
Good morning. My name is Medat Segona Rubega, Member of Parliament for Osiro County East and a member of this committee.
Anita Mong, Member of Parliament of Bukedea, Vice Chair to the committee.
Okay, I think everybody has introduced himself and herself. My name is Abdu Katuntu. I ordinarily represent Bugweri County in this house, and I'm privileged to be the chairperson of this committee. Now let's go to business. Do we have, before I put a few questions for clarity purposes, preliminary, do we have any issue arising from the communication from the chair? The Honorable Mbabali, please.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. From the communication, you mentioned the sensitivity of this institution. I'm of the opinion, since it is so sensitive and given the gravity of the matter, that we should debate all the audit queries in closed doors to avoid any speculations which might occur prior to final decision. Another one, Mr. Chair, would be a procedural matter that under Rule 72, any subject which is within the agenda where the matter is still in the court, we should avoid taking that route under the sub judice law so that we are not caught in that area.
Order.
I'll start with the first. You did say that in order to avoid speculation, we should consider the issues in camera. I thought that would fuel speculation instead. You see, there would only be reasons put on table whether there is an issue which should be considered in camera. And we shall take a judicious decision after evaluating that issue and see whether it is an issue that can be handled in a camera or in the open. As you know, honorable colleagues, Parliament is an open place. It would be wrong to start from the principle that we are going to hide somewhere and start discussing issues of national importance. However, trust me, if there is an issue which we think, and I don't know who will bring it to us, whether it's Bank of Uganda or whether it's a colleague here, we'll look at, I will jump, what do they say? We'll cross, and actually will not jump. We'll cross when we reach it. But it is wrong for us to start from the premises that we are closing these proceedings. And it will lead to exactly what you are fearing, speculation. Why are they hiding? Why have they closed out? And you know, we do these things on behalf of the people. 2, about sub judice. I don't know anything about sub judice. Do you know the issues which are in court? I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? So, and the rules are very clear on how the rule can be invoked and who can interpret it. Because the rule says, in the opinion of the speaker, for purposes of the committee, there is a small speaker here. And he will reinterpret this rule and the issues that arise. And for your comfort, Honorable Mbabali, that's my comfort zone. Honorable Elijah Cooper.
Thank you, Chair. I like the words you used, independent but accountable. You stated that we are going to start chronologically from Tefe up to the latest. Listening to the introduction here, these are the current members in Bank of Uganda. I think I need some clarification from you if we don't need some of the staff, some of the board members who were at the bank, the central bank, at the time these things took place. I know the current team here is in charge, but the issues of accountability may date back to that. I think my request is that you use your office and through Bank of Uganda have some of the staff who were in the bank at that time be present in this meeting to answer some of the questions, like you have stated on just perusal of the responses. If we just look at the first one of Tefe, there could be questions that need to be answered by some of those people who were in the office at that time. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, I think we shall handle this way. The responsibility of answering is with Bank of Uganda. They bring whoever they so wish. However, if they think there was some other person in that office whom they require to answer, we will know and will make the necessary directives. But the rest, because I imagine these are offices, assuming they have all the records to answer, and does not need a personal presence of a person who occupy, but let's not reach that level. Let's handle issue by issue, and if the answers are not satisfactory, then it is that time that we may say, oh, who handled this matter? And I imagine the bank should work on records. Like all the government institutions, like any of the government institutions, banks should work on what? On record. So that even if Katuntu is not the chairman in Kosase today, tomorrow, or he is today of course, then tomorrow somebody will get the file and actually proceed from where one ended. Because that's how government offices or institutions that are function, that's how they should work. So we may require them depending on what is being answered. So I think we can put them on notes that we may require them. As of now, we don't know. Honorable Kasivante, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, in your communication, you observed that this response lacks in attachment, which I actually agree with you. When you read through, there could be annexures accompanying the text. But my observation is to the effect that there is lots of documentation in front of every officer here. And then it would be upon us as we proceed to ask you for whichever we need. So I would propose that at this point we can proceed. Then when time comes to look for certain documents, we ask for them. But if they don't, what I'm seeing is not the documents, then we can take a decision. As far as I know, Bank of Uganda is an institution with the economists who know what accountability means. And they must have come prepared for that.
Well, I want to agree with your last assumption that Bank of Uganda is full of professionals who should know what accountability is. I think that's a given. But as you realize, members, we need to take this process seriously. Let the documents be with you, read them, internalize them. I'm not going to start asking officers of Bank of Uganda that, what is in that file you are holding? It may not augur well. We don't know what they have carried. What we would want is, like, indeed they provided 35 copies for each of us. And indeed, every document which supports an answer should be produced for each member. Then you have time, analyze the report, go through the report, go through the responses, go through the documents. That's when you can have, I imagine, a useful conversation between us and them. And as you correctly note, the Honorable Kasivante, these are professionals. Some of us may not be learned in the banking. So we may need a little bit of few minutes, hours, to appreciate some of those documents. So, and I think that I'd already made the necessary directive that the bank should forward them to us in advance. What I'm going to do is to give them the time within which they should produce them, so that we know the timelines. Lastly, maybe, as you know, we don't have all the time. For your benefit, the tenure of standing committees of parliament, including this one, ends at the end of the year. However, we need to finish whatever business we started on before the end of the year. So it doesn't spill over to our colleagues who will be taking over from us. They don't know where we were and so on. So we want to finish all the pending businesses. And our colleagues have, whoever comes has a fresh start. He chooses with institution I priority to them, and they handle business. So this business has to be finished by the time we end our tenure. We need a report debated in Parliament, and Parliament takes a decision. So we don't have all the time. At some point, we may be forced to meet daily if it is so necessary to make sure that we conclude. Remember, we also have one other meeting with you people to finish the other business we started. We eventually got a lot of involved in other issues, and we didn't have that exit meeting. Yeah, because the report is also ready, and we need to look at a few issues with you people, and we close the chapter of Bank of Uganda. Dionovo Nathan.
Thank you, Chair.
Thereafter, Dionovo Mama Mavida.
Chair, from your communication, you invited the managers and board members of Bank of Uganda. And from the introduction, I've not heard the chairperson board. So can I get the clarification whether Bank of Uganda is a unique institution without a board chairperson?
The chairperson of the board is seated on my right with his hand up. And then next to him is the vice chairperson of the board. The rest we shall discuss later. The Honorable Beatrice Anyokis.
Thank you, Chair. Actually, my point has partly been alluded to by my colleague, Honorable Kasirwente. The issue of documentation, you emphasized that, Mr. Chairman. It is unprecedented that whole of Bank of Uganda this time around is not accompanying the submission with supportive document. In light that it is not accompanied, I was requesting that it should be provided as we are trying to prepare ourselves so that some of us can quickly compare the notes before we can proceed. Otherwise, we just received the document, some of us this morning. I know it was there by yesterday in the pigeonhole. But if the supporting documents are not even yet here, you can imagine how the conversation is going to be. Wouldn't it be procedure, maybe right that on the onset we should be given that assurance that we shall have the accompanying documents to prepare us both physically and psychologically to encounter the discussion. Thank you.
No, we are not going to prepare ourselves physically. And if it comes to that, I'm not very qualified. I'm not well qualified. I don't compete favorably if it comes to physical preparation. Anyway, the point, I think we need to close that point. We have decided, I think the governor has noted it, that we will need the document supporting that. So I think that we've done. What is remaining is the time within which they should submit those documents, and I am going to rule after we have had a little bit of consultation and you before we adjourn.
Supplementary on documentary. Chair, thank you so much.
After the Honorable Anita, then the Honorable Viandala.
Honorable Anita, not Anita.
Oh, did I say that?
Yes, you did.
No, and I spoke it in Lusoga. I meant Anita.
Not Anita. Chair, thank you so much, and in response to your communication, mine is on the documentary. Maybe when they are giving us the documentary evidence, we would also require the policies, the procedures, and the manuals for opening a commercial bank and closing, because that will help us guide. It would help guide the committee on the procedures that we followed. I would also require, Chair, through you, maybe they could also give us the board members, first of all the shareholders and the board members of all closed banks. Because as a committee we may not have that information.
No, we actually wrote after the first meeting. We did write, I used to actually the clerk write to the governor. Did you get that communication? Yes. The communication that came to invite you, there are two communications. There is one which was inviting you originally for yesterday, but also there was another letter, there were two letters, which requested you to give us the entire list of people who are sitting on the boards of the defunct banks. Then we could be able to look for them. Because you can imagine if it is a TEFE, we don't know who was a member of the board and so on. But give us the names, because I'm sure you have the record, and then we are going to use our system to trace them wherever they are. Yeah.
Chair.
That we have already communicated.
Chair, I'm also aware at that time these banks had the boards. I mean, at that time, Bank of Uganda had a board. We would also request for the minutes of meetings from Bank of Uganda on their discussions about these closed banks from 1993 to date.
Yeah, let's have the governor respond to that, and then we go to some other person.
Mr. Chairman, we will definitely try to answer those questions by providing the documents.
Can you just pull it near you?
We'll try and provide the documents required to answer these questions. And in fact, we have some but we didn't, I'm sure, produce everything. But can I ask you to allow acting executive director supervision to tell us what he may have?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have carried most of the documents that are alluded to in the... We have carried with us one copy of most of the documents that are alluded to in the presentation, but we can certainly make copies for every member within the time that you would have given us to provide those copies.
Yeah, we're going to give you that time, but Mr. Egesa, I hope I got your name correctly. It's no use to carry a document and you have it there. The people who should be looking at those documents are the ones you are facing this side. And they have to go through them. They need time. I don't know that it was a slip of the tongue. You said we've carried most. Actually, don't carry most. Carry all. Carry all documents that are necessary or supportive of your responses. All. Including now what the vice chairperson raises.
The minutes
let me see. Okay. The minutes of the board in relation to the subject under discussion. If there is any policy, if it's law, don't carry the law. The law, we will get it, cite it. You don't have to carry the law. But if it's a policy which is in the bank, whether in your manual and so on, then you can also submit it. But if it's something in regard to the law, you don't carry the law. You just cite it because the law, we can access it this side. Can I have somebody who has not yet spoken first?
A little procedure.
No. You're raising, but I don't want to suffocate people who have not spoken in the meeting. Honorable Yandara.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Unfortunately, I've just seen these documents here, but my short perusal through them don't appear to contain what I want. This Bank of
Honorable Yandara. Honorable Yandara knows what he wants. Let us not ask him that.
So,
however, let us not jump the gun. We're not going to go into the merits. We are going to have all the time.
No, Mr. Chairman, these are some of the documents I may want, as we are asking for.
Okay.
In my view, I think I want it. Because the disclosure is something you have as a policy or as a routine or whatever it is. So I was expecting for you to have at least enclosed somewhere a checklist of to close bank A, it is A, B, C, D, E, F, which are general, and then for each bank then would be a specific one for that bank. I want that list, the general one, that you closed the TFA didn't have A, B, C, D in the general, but above that there were these specific ones. Can we have that list of the general points you consider in closing a bank?
But let's do this. They could have different styles of answering. And to them, what they are presented is the checklist. However, I don't want to be tempted to go. I already have a little bit of issues I should raise now. But let's finish the preliminaries. The bank should get the point that they needed... okay. When I look at the Auditor General's report, for example, page Roman 5. Roman 5 and Roman 6. There's a table there. Roman 5. Yes? And what the Honorable Yandala is saying, you should have had a reply to this. For example, TEFE 93, reason for closure, insolvency. That's Auditor General. So you wanted the Bank of Uganda to go into the details of the insolvency. Did you say that? If I understood you, Honorable Ndala.
What I want is, because even before they come to closure, in their system of working, they have that these are the conditionalities for us to look at closure.
No. We'll handle that later.
No, but
it's good you are putting them on notice.
Yeah, but it helps me when I'm reading. When I'm reading their report, I start seeing a checklist. Oh, there was this and this. Then this was particular. But now I'm reading blindly.
Mine was a very simple procedure. Bank of Uganda has been joined with another member who has not introduced himself, and he looks very strange. So I think it is a procedure right that we get the introduction of him.
I think he's the new Minister of Finance. The senior citizen, the Honorable Agri Awori, you're most welcome. It's quite refreshing that we have senior citizens who still have interest in public affairs, to see those who succeeded them, how they are doing the work, whether to your satisfaction or not. But you are most welcome. The Honorable Kasivante, the procedure point is finished. I'll go to Aja all the way from Kabad. The Honorable.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, with the introductions, the preamble we've been through, I think it would be better if we gave Bank of Uganda an opportunity to maybe kind of give us their own preamble, kind of tell us what they feel before we go into the nitty-gritty. Maybe they could open up some of the things we haven't yet seen. If we could give them the opportunity to first and give us their side.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
I don't know, Mr. Chairman, whether it would be right.
Yeah, Honorable Jai, you're right. We are going to do that. But these just reactions from communication from the chair before we pass over the microphone to Bank of Uganda. And some of the issues you are raising, actually Bank of Uganda may have opportunity to clarify on them. But let us have the communication and matters arising out of the communication before I ask Bank of Uganda to do the response. Because as a governor and your team, we are really finishing all the preliminaries today. When we come next, it's going to be business. And really, please, we do beg that your team gets ready for this meeting. We don't want, okay, we shall see them tomorrow and so on. Let's get ready and we finish this business. Is anybody who has not spoken before? I allow the Honorable Elijah to come in. The Honorable Mbapali, I'm not here to give any permission to leave. You may leave at leisure then. Honorable Elijah.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm taking you back to the issue of the documents. Listening to you and listening to members, I think it's something that we need, that there must be documents. Because when I looked at the response from Bank of Uganda, and then I looked at the Auditor General, I think I'm not sure whether the two speak to one another. On page 5 of the Auditor General's report,
just give it as an example.
Yeah, it's very
don't
specific.
go into the detail.
No,
but just give that just as an example. Yeah. The point Elijah is Honorable Cooper is asking, do the responses speak to the queries?
On that page,
and now it's giving examples.
He has listed.
Page what?
Page 5 of the Auditor General. He has listed the type of documents that need to be provided and which were not provided. That is what we are asking of you when you come here, or even before you come here, to provide to us the inventory report of the closed bank. I'm talking specifically about TEFE. Inventory report, the loan schedules, customer deposit schedules, statement of affairs, and reports that supporting the assets and liabilities about TEFE. So these are the type of documents we want in advance, early enough, and this applies to most all. So these are the documents we need for us to enable us to get an informed position regarding this. I just wanted that clear.
Yeah, the point is trying to make, I've had opportunity to sort of peruse through. A query is a query. It's like ABCD. So if you are responding, please answer the query, such that the documents speak to each other. When you look through here without me going into detail, some of the responses don't answer the query. Some don't. So you just have to go through the queries in detail and say what issues are being raised in this query. And this I expected the professions to know this better than some of us here this side. So I think go through the Auditor General's report really and get the answers to the queries that have been raised, so that we don't have this back and forth pull when you've come. I think that's the point he's raising, and I agree with it. Yes, the Honourable Mong.
Chair, I'm just making a supplementary on Honourable Elijah. When he talks about the inventory report and then loan schedule and customer deposit, during closure, we would actually require you to provide us information before takeover, so that we know the position at that time, and then after takeover. And this would help us to determine the movement of transactions. Say, if you're paying out cash to somebody whose account has been who belongs to that bank, we should be able to know. Before closure, this was the balance on the account, and then after closure, this is now the balance, and this is what has been taken. So we should have both before and after.
Let me give you an example. Colleagues, if you look at page 12 of their responses, 2.8.5, you say failure to prepare a statement of affairs for NBC. NBC, I imagine that's National Bank of Commerce. And the answer is BOU has been restrained by the interim order. So, get us the interim order. You should have attached the interim order. I say, this is the order which is saying don't prepare a statement of NBC. It's as easy as that. Other than say it has been restrained, how would I know that actually the interim order did restrain you from performing this? I don't know whether we are now talking to each other. Yeah, when we say the response should speak to the query. So we are not going to interrogate Dr. Kaseken now, but yes.
Thank you, Chair. On the issue raised by the Honourable of loan schedules and customer deposit schedules, I think we will need to be guided by yourselves, because there is a level of confidentiality on customer information. You've requested for this information and we shall oblige, but there is a limit to which we can provide you information on customer deposits.
I agree with you. Where you have what we call a legal constraint, limitation, bring it to our attention at that point, and we shall handle it.
Okay, that's the main, yes.
If you think there is anything which the law does not allow you to do, you bring it to our attention. We examine the law and make a ruling accordingly. We will not ask you to do what the law doesn't allow you to do.
Can I just make one addition? Even loan schedules, if someone is servicing their loan, that is not information that will come.
Let's not go into that. Just say, just the issues which you are raising, if there is a legal limitation, please raise it at that particular time and we will handle it accordingly. Colleagues? Yes, Elijah?
Thank you, Chair. The other information that we would need definitely would be, say, for all these banks that are closed, can we have the reports from the bank supervision departments for the, at least for the 2 years before the closure, so that you get how were they performing? Can we have their bank supervision department reports for if a bank is closed in 2018, how was it performing in 2016 and 2017? At least for those past 2 years, for us to see the trend, trajectory, and see.
Rose, Sarah.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and members. I think I was also kindly requesting the bank, when they come back, to tell us the plan for the former employees of these banks, their status at the moment, because I know many of them have not been paid, and the way they were sacked, I may say, there is need to be compensated. So what does what plans does the bank have to compensate those many people?
Let's first do this. Let us deal with the issues which are in the what? In the Auditor General's report. Then the incidental one we shall handle it later. But as of now, can we sort of, Rose, can we sort of limit ourselves to the issues that have been raised by the Auditor General first? Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, before the closure of the banks, I'm very sure that the Bank of Uganda has to meet the owners of the banks first. So they must have a meeting with them before the closure. So as they are coming next time, I would wish that they carry the minutes of those meetings, the meetings they had before the closure of the banks.
No, who told you they had the meetings?
Just in case, but that's what I think, that they must have had meetings with them.
No, let's do this. We shall give them an opportunity to explain when we begin about those processes, okay? Later on. And then where we require them to, if they are the meetings, then we can say, please give us the minutes. I think that's a better way of handling it. Because to ask for minutes before you know even when people met, they might say, well, we never met, and it is dead on arrival. So we'll handle it accordingly. So we will ask them, Sarah, whether they had any meetings with the shareholders, whether they had any meeting with the directors, but that's another, at the beginning of the process. So, Governor Mutebile, you've had communication from the chair, you have the issues that have arisen. The microphone is for you. If you have any issue you want to raise. Can we hear from the bank now? Do you have a question before the governor comes in?
Chair,
Because we are going to give them the assignment is quite big. We need to give them time to go and sort it out.
Thank you, Chair. Again, using your words, independent but accountable. Dr. Kasekende has said the issue of confidentiality about the loan schedules. If that was the case, then you should have provided them to the Auditor General to such that he would have looked at it that way. But as the Chairman has stated, I think we shall wait for
Elijah, I said that we will cross it when we come to it at that point. Oh, did I say General Mutavire? Okay. Professor Mutavire, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I assume now we have started the business. I mean,
yes.
I can ask the staff to begin. So I make a few remarks, then I ask the leading staff to take us through the matrix, if you don't mind.
No, we will not handle that matrix until we receive the supporting documents, which are not here. So you can just make the remarks.
Some of them are here.
Sorry? We don't know which is here. And how are we going to interrogate the documents and have a conversation? You see, the worry would be the only copy you have is for the chair. Members don't have it. They have not read it. Okay. So chances are that after reading it, they will be asking questions about the document or about an issue which you have already first high. Then it will be back and forth. So it's going to waste a lot of time.
You want to adjourn?
No, I'll do what I think is right. Make your opening remarks, then I'll tell you what to do.
Because my opening remarks were assuming we are going to continue.
I've already guided Professor Mutavire that we need the documents before we start going through the matrix. Because they are the ones who support the matrix. Without the documents, there is nothing we can do with the narration which you've just handed in.
You have nothing to say.
You have to wait until when they start.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. Mr. Mutavire says he will have to make the remarks when they are ready with their documents and the matrix. Now, I don't know who I think that the directive should be to the Governor. Now, Mr. Governor, can we have all the documents supporting your responses? Honorable, we give them up to when? Let us finish this, then you can answer. Okay.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I remember them confessing that they almost have everything we need. What they don't have is copies to members. That could not even take more than a day. I would then propose by end of close of business today, they have all the documents we need with us, and then we can find out where to meet again.
Suggesting that since, according to Bank of Uganda, you have all the documents. So if you have them, give them to us today.
Mr. Chairman, quite frankly, it is impossible to reply to these demands today. We need a couple of days.
I see your staff putting up a hand. And then you have to go through your boss. I don't pick you. I only pick this one, this side. This side, it is your boss who picks you.
Who wants to speak? Secretary, go ahead.
Chair, just want clarity on the documents, because we are using your term documents. There are so many places in the matrix where we have said that these documents were passed over to the Auditor General. In that case, do we provide the evidence of passing over and receiving or signing for the document, or do we give the complete set of documents that we passed over to the auditor?
Us the